How about now?
How you doing?
That's better. That was me. It's my fault.
No worries, buddy. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm good. We have a proper heat wave over here at the minute,
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
which I
People died
like.
in France.
Yeah, 40 people died in France, but mainly because of cold water shock. But from what I hear,
Oh,
so
well, that's what it was. Oh,
yeah, it wasn't necessarily directly the heat. It was people swimming and
I thought it was
wherever.
drowning. I heard it was in the water, but I thought it was drowning.
Well, they said over here due to cold water shock, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, sad either way. But yeah, no, we are currently sitting on 32 degrees C here.
Wow.
uh, for June. We had it warm a few years ago, but that wasn't as early as it wasn't as early as this. But the humidity wasn't as high, so it's yeah. I've pretty much got every animal struggling,
Yeah, I'm sure.
apart from my
You guys,
parrot who doesn't
do
seem to
you have air
care.
conditioning there?
Now, this is the thing. You see, we're not set up. We've never needed it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I had air conditioning in my one office room back in the day, which was a luxury, but we don't have it. New houses don't get built with it. It's not something you normally need. But everybody, people start going overboard. We've got health warnings being, and don't get me wrong, I understand young kids and vulnerable older people need looking after. I get that. But um, I mean, young kids should be given common sense anyway, and a reminder to look after older people that can't necessarily look after themselves. But we've got like, oh, don't travel unless you need to. What the fuck, What? What?
Right.
It just yeah, we kind of go mad over it. It's the same with snow. We get an inch of snow and everything locks down. It's just we're just not set up for anything other than grey, drizzly weather.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's going to get warmer tomorrow as well. But yeah, we got a week of it. But yeah, I love it. I'm not saying. I mean, I was feeding. I didn't particularly do a great amount of work carrying around a couple of 7 liter water bottles yesterday for the pigeons, but I was dripping to be fair. So when I say I love it, that's me sitting on my fat ass in my office with a fan on. I wouldn't love
Right.
it if I was working in it. I did an hour outside last night, but it was still like still 30 degrees at 7 o'clock last night. And yeah, so I wouldn't like it if I was working outside in it because I was
No.
sweating like a bitch yesterday and come back. But yeah, I mean, I'd much rather have this than our normal grey, drizzly, damp shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, apparently we're sitting under a dome or something or other of this heat. But yeah, I looked at it. I looked at the weather, and we were warmer yesterday than in the Bahamas where I used to live. But the difference there is,
Give me 1 sec. I gotta let my dog in. He's losing his mind. Hang on 1 sec.
oh, it's
Sorry about that. He's never happy.
no
He hates
worries.
it
I know what
inside. He
dogs.
hates it outside.
Our dogs are struggling. We ended up putting again, they're not set up for it. We ended up putting like ice packs on the sofa and the chairs they used last night and covering it up with a small sheet, and they all figured out pretty quick. Get on there, and it's a lot better. So yeah,
Aw, that's cute.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, now all good. Busy, kind of on fire at the minute with stuff. Feeling on fire mentally. All good. Um, well, I'll come back to some of the stuff I'm doing, but you messaged me yesterday or day before saying you'd been Gemini coding.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of so I had I've been so I signed up for a service called Publer. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I have heard of them. I can't remember what they do, but I do know the name. Yeah.
So they do social media scheduling, like post scheduling, but they charge you per account.
Hmm.
Um, and I have this like specific set of criteria, like Instagram Reels have to be trials. YouTube gets posted but has to be unchecked, notify subscribers. Publer doesn't have the option to uncheck notify subscribers, but they have trial reels. So I signed up for them and I'm now using them for my Facebook and my Instagram. So what I do is when I want to post a bunch of reels, I feed them into a generator that makes the titles and everything, and I spit them out into Publer for so that I can post trial reels to Instagram, regular reels to Facebook, and then it also automates my story posts. So now I have like a new book cover story on Instagram and Facebook every 6 hours. So it just goes through my best-selling books,
Hmm.
generates 6 hours out for however many weeks, and then I do it again. And then YouTube was a challenge because I needed this special setup, and it was like, oh, you can do it using Make.com, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So
Hmm.
I had a Make.com account because I was using it to post stuff to Shopify. Started posting YouTube videos, and within a day, I hit my transfer limit. I'm like, okay, like I didn't want to take on more subscriptions. I already subscribed to Publer. I want to reduce one. So
Hmm.
how do I get rid of Make.com? So I went to Gemini. I'm like, look, I have this. Here's what I do with Make. I connect to the Shopify API and I connect to the YouTube API. Can I move this in-house? And it's like, yeah, we can do it in FileMaker Pro. Here's all the steps to follow. And so I built the YouTube uploader in FileMaker Pro. It schedules everything up. It uploads like 20 videos at a time or 100 videos at a time, whatever you want. Schedules them all hours apart, however many hours apart you want them scheduled. Sets them to not notify subscribers. Does everything the way I want it, and it works on my desktop. No make.com. And then I did the Shopify one next, where I post my books to Shopify from my desktop. Took Make out of the equation, and then canceled my subscription for Make because I hit a transfer limit. I'm like, I can't, I don't want to keep hitting limits, right? So on my desktop, there's no limits. I have a 3 gig connection. I can upload as many videos as I want. So, so I built this YouTube uploader, and then I just kind of started going down the rabbit hole of, okay, what like, what am I doing with because I'm starting to sell a lot more on my e-commerce website. Like autographed books are starting to move,
When you say,
and
sorry to interrupt, when you say
yeah.
you send your books to Shopify, is that new books you've released straight into Shopify, you mean?
So yeah, I have a database. When I make a book, I
Hmm.
make the book in the database. I put the cover in, I put
Yeah, you
the
said,
inside in, and it wraps the PDF for me. I put the copy in there, and then I have to manually upload it to Amazon. But then once Amazon approves it, I then publish it to Shopify from the database, and it's just a one click. And so before I was using make.com as like a middleman to do that. Now it just posts straight from my desktop to the Shopify API. I created my own Shopify app following Gemini's instructions. And then yesterday mainly, um, I took my ADHD meds yesterday. And that, of course, it's like it's my like Popeye spinach for my brain. Took that, spent the day doing massive optimizations on Shopify. And it was just, dude, it was writing liquid code for me like it was no big deal. So I was like, okay, what am I missing out on in my conversions? And I want to, there's a store here in North America called Bath and Body Works. I don't think you have it there. You do?
we don't,
Yeah.
but I've obviously from the
Yeah.
past I know it's huge. It's in everywhere.
They've been big since the day they launched. And they have an amazing pricing strategy. Like if you go to their website and you see the way that they bundle products and they make one product expensive and they make a lot of products seem cheap. They will motivate you to spend more money than you planned every single time, and it's genius. Whoever is behind their like the products have to be awesome. So let's just assume your products are awesome. Look at their pricing strategies. They bundle things and they do them in sales and they're doing them kind of well. And I was like, okay, I want to do this. And then Gemini came up with two great suggestions yesterday. One was I'm like, look, I just want to increase my checkout value. What could I do? I'm happy to offer free books. I'm happy to, buy three, get one free, whatever you want. So it's like, yeah, let's do a buy three, get one free. But then it also suggested this roughly half price mystery box or mystery book. It's just it's in the cart. It shows up in the cart. Do you want to add this? You add it. You have no idea what you're getting. I get to get rid of an overstock book or a book that cost me less to print because it's maybe a coloring book or whatever. And so I added that, and it gave me, it's like, here's where you go in Shopify, edit this line of code. Here's the if statements, and then it's like, and it only, and then if they put it in the cart, it doesn't show it anymore. It's really smart. And then and then it did this progress bar thing for me where, hey, you're two books away from a free one, and it put it all in my cart, set it all
Yeah, I
up.
saw that. You sent me the screen
Um,
cap. Huh?
and then it also suggested that that I change my Amazon links because I had just text links for Amazon. So it created a button, a dynamic button, because I have all my Amazon ISBN numbers in my Shopify database. I've always kept them there as a SKU. So I was able to create the Amazon drop down button right underneath the add to cart button. It says unsigned on Amazon. And I'm also now, I wasn't before, but I'm now tracking those outbound links to just to see, if they actually, amount to anything. So it's, yeah, I spent like a good day of optimization yesterday, and I don't sell enough to know yet if it's working. I'll know
Yeah,
probably in a week or two if if I have some mystery books, if I have some people that bought four books to get that, or bought three books to get the one free. But I kind of gamified the card a little bit, and it was like unbelievably easy, and it got it right, the first time. I mean, it was just like, here's the code you need, here's where to put it. Boom, it worked.
amazing. Couple of things. Yeah, we do have Bath Body Works in the UK. It'll be interesting. I'll see if the pricing strategies are the same in the UK. When you take your ADHD meds, is that near on instant, like within half an hour? Or
Yeah, yeah,
really?
yeah. It's fast, and it's one of those things where I know I can't take it every day, and if I do take it every day, it diminishes its returns. But if I take it on the days when I'm like, no, I'm going to be at my desk all day, I'm at my computer, took it today, um, and it's you really kind of laser in on whatever it is you're doing, and it wasn't like, oh, this is, I didn't plan to do Shopify enhancements yesterday, but I went to my to-do list. I'm like, okay, this is one of the things. This is what I
Mhm.
feel like
Just
doing
get
today.
it done.
I feel
Yeah.
like coding. My brain feels like it'll be rewarded from this, so I'm going to do it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Have you ever taken modafinil?
No,
Mm. Back in 10, 12 years ago when we were in the banks period, I ordered modafinil and pretty much my entire office was on
that's
it at
the
the time.
that's the nootropic, or is that like is
It's
that the diabetes one?
enhanced.
What is that?
No, no, it's enhanced focus and brain clarity and keeps you going
I've
no
heard of
matter
it.
what type of stuff. Yeah, did work. Did work. Even my peer, even my assistant was taking it at one point. Yeah, it was interesting. I hadn't took it in 10 years, but during that period of time when we've got real deadline shit going on, seemed to work. But yeah, it's interesting that it kicks in. The ADHD stuff kicks in quickly. You
You can
know.
tell. You can tell. Um,
Mm,
you can feel it.
yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, with regards to shopping, oh yeah, and with regards to custom code that you put into Shopify, then I mean, I'm asking this because at some point I've got to tackle Shopify. Not yet, but realistically, it'll be next year. When you make that custom code change, that's just isolated within your account. So any updates they do, still, you haven't got to worry about updates that they do are going to knock out your custom work or anything.
Well, you don't really. It's not like WordPress where you have to update your theme. If you have a theme that you're happy with,
Yeah.
you never really have to update it.
Yeah.
And so if you make changes to it, if you update it, your changes are gone.
Hmm.
Um, So I keep track of the changes that I've made, which aren't that
Hmm.
many. Um, and I've put like a comment above and below each piece of code that's mine, and I've labeled it so I know I can search the entire theme for Bradsy and find my codes in there to like and they oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay, that one I so I've been smart about it because I know one day those changes may come where I have to, or I may want to change my theme or whatever. I'm
yeah,
going to lose all those customizations. So I have that sort of documented. But the API stuff, like connecting to their API, you're looking at, you know, that is theme independent. That's just you posting to their database or
yeah,
accessing
yeah.
the database. So when I post a book from my database, the only reason why I want to do it is because I don't want to have to copy paste things, right? I don't want to have to sit there and upload an image, copy the title, copy the description. I just want to press a
Hmm.
button, and
Hmm.
it's a lot of work so that it's easy, but then it's also error free. If it works once, it works every
Yeah, yeah.
time. It's very clean. Um, but yeah, I felt very empowered because with Shopify, those kinds of card enhancements are monthly fees. You have to pay for
Mhm.
an app that charges you monthly based on your dollar volume.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's
and
one
I'm
of the
like, give
things
me a
that's put me
break.
off. That's one of the things that put me off. I've spoken to people that run Shopify, and yeah, the basic is fine, but then you soon can start. People have said you can soon start pounding your credit card with plugins and add-ons and this, and yeah. So
But I haven't done that. I've never done that.
no, 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 no.
And you can custom roll your own solutions at Shopify. And now that we have, apps
Yeah.
that do it for AI to do it for us, it's never been easier. You can actually
Mm.
develop, you could like, I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, okay, I could develop my own Shopify app and publicly release it and charge for these enhancements,
Hmm.
a fraction of what these other people are charging because I'm not running it. There's no server side anything here. This is just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is
Oh,
all running on your Shopify. So,
yeah.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, well, if somebody's charging $20 a month for this, why not five? Why not, a one-time fee or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Give people, here, hey, download this. Here's the instructions. Do it yourself. No fees. Pay
Yeah, yeah,
once.
yeah.
Download it on Gumroad or whatever. So I'm,
Mm.
I'm looking at all of that, and I'm like, there's again, it's this crisis of, I'm not using this stuff to its full potential. It's like, I've hired a Ferrari to go pick up McDonald's for me. Like it doesn't
I
seem
know.
right.
I know. I've positive rabbit holes, but I've been down some rabbit holes myself this week. Yeah, it's and definitely I haven't been using the coding to that level yet, but what it has done for me has just been faultless. So the first thing I did last week, which yeah, I did after we spoke last. So I have one of my websites is a PLR based white label AI focused. So I have all of these very good prompt kits, but I'm very aware that the market's kind of moving to. So I have a bunch of GPTs and I have a bunch of prompt kits, and the market's moving to
Hmm.
skill.md files that you can use on any AI. So I I created a skill to, well, initially I created a skill to convert a GPT into a skill, which I haven't gone fully into that yet because it's kind of part of a workflow, but it works all right. And then I kind of got two. I was so lazy I didn't even edit any of the zip files. I've got like 60 zip files of different prompt kits here, and there's two types of prompt kits. There's out and out a prompt kit with prompt instructions and a bunch of images and stuff that people can use to promote it. And then there's more guide based prompting stuff. So I uploaded one of each to Claude, and I said I want to turn these into skills, and it very easily.
So what is it like? What is the difference between a well-written prompt and a skills file?
Well, a skill file, essentially, a skills file is just it's a file that bundles up all the instructions where you literally upload the skills file and it goes and asks you the questions. The difference with it goes and does what it's been told to do as a self-contained. It's kind of like a GPT, but it's not specific to
Like how's
ChatGPT.
it? Okay,
So it's a bundle of
that's the only. It's
instructions.
it's a custom instruction set for any AI.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Now, there's fors and against with prompt kits. So some people would say, "Oh, prompt kits are kind of old school," but they do have their uses. Like one of my real entrepreneur members, he's took a bunch of the prompt kits and heavily customized them to the particular business niche he's in, and he's in set up an entire business around that. So he's gone and took a prompt kit that does one specific thing, but generically for any topic, and he's made it his own. So there's still a call for that, but and I've never I like GPTs. I still put out GPTs, but I don't like the fact that you have to use ChatGPT to use it. So yeah, so I got these 60 prompt kits. It very easily differentiated between the two types. It spat out two skills files. I tested them, worked great. Because like I've got a couple of GPTs that I use all the time, but I actually anything writing much prefer Claude. So one of my tests was convert this entire writing based GPT into um, a skills file for Claude because I'm using Claude. You can use it anywhere. Yeah, very good. So yeah, it went through the test. I tested it, worked fine, and then I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to have to sit there manually uploading each zip file and going through the process and waiting for it to happen. So I said, hey, how can we batch this? It created the Python file. It said, put two folders on your Mac, one for zip files in and one for outputs. And I did that, and I screwed up. It was a manual issue that I initially screwed up, but within a few minutes, I've got it to where it was working, tested it. So basically, you drag in any zip files into the folder, get the thing going, and it spits out a skill file that's very. And I didn't even bother editing any of the zip files. The zip files have got like images in there and random other stuff that is part of it, and it did a really good job. And then so I automated it. So it did 60 conversions of entire prompt kits into skills files in 25 minutes flat, and
That's
it cost me
Claude Cowork.
yeah, and it
And
cost
it cost you
me
what?
$4.75 in
Wow.
API calls. So then I said to it, "Hey,
This is using the
uh,
Claude desktop app
yeah,
or
yeah."
okay.
And then I said to it, "Hey, I like the idea of being able to put a dashboard together for my members to use all of these in one place, categorize whatever." It spat that out for me. Um, it highlighted the issue of you don't really want to be responsible for keeping people's API keys. Some of the software we've got does store people's API keys, but that's software that's not been created by me. So I know it's safe, but this stuff. So yeah, it went and created a dashboard, and we got it. I've got to just tweak it and finish it off. But it created a dashboard, really great, based on all the skills files that are in there, which you can obviously easily add to and whatever. And then all it did is when you first open the HTML page, which you can run locally as well, you can run the file locally. it just asks you for your Claude API key on the
Right.
first time you use it, and it stores it within whatever it's doing within locally within the person's computer,
On
and
the
it
cookies,
works
yeah.
great. Yeah, it works really well. I've got to do a few tweaks, so I've got to do. I want to. I want it to be able to use Claude and or ChatGPT. Few color scheme tweaks, whatever. But yeah, really quite powerful. So now what we've got is one, I've got the ability to give all of my real entrepreneur members access to all of these skills, which are really very good, if I do say so myself. And and then it gives me the ability to be able to go and bring a bunch of new customers in to be able to sell that dashboard too. So yeah, that's the first thing I got into, and I was blown away by how easy it made it. You know, like, can you imagine how even if you were just manually sitting there uploading a zip file, letting it go through that whole automation of just
Yeah, having it
here's the
take that
Python
over.
script.
And so
Yeah,
so it gave you a Python script. You put that locally and then you create two folders and then you run the Python script in terminal
now
or it
I run
runs
it
it.
within Claude Desktop. Yeah.
So on the desktop app of Claude, it creates a Python script and then it says, tell me
Mhm.
where the folders are, or it says, use these folders. You put
Well,
the files in the
within the
folders,
script, yeah, within the script, I edited the path
the
to the
paths.
folders on my
Okay.
computer. That
Okay.
was it. Done.
You could have downloaded the Python script though and run it on terminal if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have done, yeah. But I
Yeah.
just kept
But
it
you
with
just kept it
GUI
inside. And
and
this is in
and
this is in co-work.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I've never done this, so that's why
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
curious.
yeah.
I
Um,
haven't really used it to its full potential. And
yeah, and
I'm trying to decide which ones to get rid of, but I don't think that's the one I want to get rid of. I think perplexity is the
no,
one I want to get rid of.
I love it. I really do. And what I did do is I kept checking in because it you could see it spitting out the files to the output, so I know it was working. But also,
Right.
I want it shows you its progress within its GUI. So I just wanted to see how it tackled it, just from my geeky interest. So I kind of did watch it as it was doing it, which obviously you wouldn't do all the time, but I just wanted to see as my first attempt of stuff. So yeah, it was really good, and then so now what I'm going to do is I've got like a bunch of GPTs, and I'm just going to do the same. I'm going to make them all into skills files, and then I'm going to make a dashboard of all of those skills files, so all of it's in one place. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And again, just scratching the surface really, but still pretty mind blowing for practical
If
uses as to what you can do.
if you were me, how would you use co-work?
Mm. Hmm. I have to think about that because you use
And what's
FileMaker Pro,
dispatch? Like,
don't you?
well, yeah, but FileMaker Pro is not. That's just basically a launch point for it's a place for me to store data and it's a place for me to push or pull data in. It's like it's just a repository, but it doesn't
Mm.
really it's not, it's nothing special. It's just it's an easy place to automate tasks, but
Let
it's
me
not
Yeah, I know what
autonomous.
you mean. Let me have a think about that, and I'll answer that question properly next week or
Like it's asking
prior
me,
to.
like it's asking me when I open Cowork, right? It's like, do you want to organize my week
I wouldn't.
or
Yeah, I wouldn't
organize
use co-work to
screenshots?
ask it. You can just go into Claude and start a new chat and say, "Hey, based on everything you know about what I'm doing, how can I use?" Don't use co-work to ask the question. Just go and open a
Yeah,
new
yeah,
chat and say, "How can co-work help me improve my business, automation, sales, etc." That's ultimately what you should do. Just open a chat. Don't use co-work to do that.
right.
But I will have a think about that.
And do you ever use Claude Code
Yeah, yeah.
for
Well,
what?
I
Like, do
played,
you use
I
that to
played.
write software or?
No, not yet. I played around with it just to some pigeon thing I was doing, which I completely changed my mind on, so I didn't actually put it out. But I haven't. I have used it once. I haven't got into that side yet. But then,
Okay.
like Grok have just launched their code facility, haven't they? And again, I haven't looked at that yet. I mean, Jesus, you can't keep up, can you? At the minute,
No.
I'm using Grok for. So I did a. I got to pick a new name idea for that pigeon thing. I'm long term thing I'm betting. So I did an entire prompt. Uh, Refined a prompt from a branding point of view, and I haven't looked at them yet. I ran it through Grok, Claude, and ChatGPT to compare numbers. Actually did it for a report that I did yesterday, and what's quite interesting is the first few name options or whatever options it was I was asking it to do were pretty much the same on ChatGPT and Claude, completely different on Grok, but even some of the names that they came up with were the same in the top 10, which was quite interesting. I don't know how to interpret that. But yeah, no, I've not got into code yet. I mean, look, the dashboards I'm doing and all of that stuff that I got it to do, I've had it, but my updates page for Real Entrepreneur, that was done just using Claude as a chat. I said, do I have to move this anywhere else? No, I can do that for you just within the chat. I think I mentioned before, I've just got a simple Google sheet with all of the
Hmm.
different call recordings or updates or whatever. And it just went and did it. So now every time I put a call recording up or whatever, I just put it into the Google sheet and it just updates everything online, works really well. So, but that did that just within the main, that was a while ago now. So that was before any of this other new stuff's coming up. But yeah, so I'm pretty impressed. And then again, as we discussed before, that gets you into well, what else can I do with this? Now,
Yeah.
with this dashboard stuff I'm doing, kind of like you with the Shopify stuff. Um, Initially, I did it with the view of, I need to centralize all of these resources for people to use and also get my members something else that they can properly use themselves. But then you come on to thinking, well, actually, this is a ready-made resource that can be sold as a standalone product. So then you start thinking, well, what else can I do? So like yesterday, I'll come on to the other rabbit hole I've gone down this week. Well, I'll tell you now. So you broke OpenClaw twice, I think it was. I installed it, but at the time was just, I didn't use it. And then I hear all these other things and you broke it. So I thought I gave up on it. And then if you remember, I think we mentioned it on here, a couple of weeks after OpenClaw launched, Hermes launched,
Hmm.
which was so I've held back on it. I keep seeing updates about Hermes. I keep seeing people on X saying how great it is and whatever, but I held back. And then John Merrick, who used to be my one of my partners in the software stuff, who's a coder and veteran coder, speaking to him last week, and he's gone down the Hermes claw rabbit hole. And for him to say he's blown away by it, and for him to say how easy it is, it's like he said with OpenClaw, you're always having to edit config files and mess around, and it's just a faff. He said he's been using Hermes now for 2 weeks, and he's never had to edit a config file, never had to do any of that stuff. And he's blown away by how great it is. So then my next question was as well, kind of, and he's just got it running on a Raspberry Pi. So
Yeah,
it's
you
not doing
mentioned that.
any, yeah, it's not doing anything major. It's not like he's not running an LLM or any of that stuff. It's just a controller. And I'm like, okay, well, if John's telling me that, and then he gave me a few examples of how he's using it, one of which I'll share in a minute. I'm like, that's good enough for me, because it's like you. If you tell me something's kick ass and I need to be using it, I'll do it. John's in the
Right.
same game, so in the same category. So I just went and ordered a little mini PC, £120, a £60 flat screen, 15.6-inch thing, wireless keyboard monitor. The whole thing was like less than £200.
Hmm.
It's running behind me. And there's no way I was using Windows because it came pre-installed with Windows. So installed Linux on it, Red Hat, and installed their desktop version. So there's an actual physical visual
Hmm.
interface, and I've started going on it, and it's pretty damn impressive. And again, haven't even touched the surface of what I'm planning to do with it. But one of the things, so I said to John, natural kind of seemingly automatic question to this stuff these days now as well. So what have you been doing with it to actually help you? And John said, I got it. So he's plugged it into his calendars and whatever. And again, he's a coder, so but again, not any coding skills needed for this stuff. I mean, he predominantly uses terminal, but yeah. But he still has a customer list that he does affiliate promotions to. So he's given it his entire customer list. He's given it his portfolio of software and plugins or whatever else they've bought. It's gone and split them up and by interest types and what they're specifically interested in. Then he's got it monitoring affiliate launch resources. Now every morning it's suggesting with a high threshold, he's given it criteria of what to even tell him about, which is set high. And now every morning it suggests potential products that he could look at to promote to his customer list, and splits them down by this customer list is suitable for this, etc., etc. And he just gets a report every morning as to what he's looking at. And I thought that
Oh,
was
wow.
pretty kick ass. So yeah,
So let me ask you this, because this is highly specific, but so in Claude Cowork, like I just thought of something I might be able to use it for because I have um a bunch of books that don't have sales copy yet. And I had Perplexity create the copy, but it didn't know enough because I didn't give it all the I just gave it the titles and it sort of embellished from there. But I have all the PDFs of all the books in a database. If I said to Claude, hey, because I have it, I do have a chat where it writes my copy now, and it does a really good job. So if I said to it, hey, here's a folder of my books, 100 books. I want you to write the Amazon copy. Here's the KDP instructions, and I wanted it to create I say, here's a folder of all the PDFs, and I want you to give me a CSV file of all the HTML copy on the other end. That's something it could do, right?
yeah,
And I would
definitely,
do
yeah.
that. So just to be clear, I would open Cowork. Do I start a project or do I just start typing in the chat?
Start a project, yeah.
Start a
Start it
project.
off as a separate project.
Okay. So I say create a new project, and then I say start from scratch and then use an existing folder. So I give it a folder of the PDFs.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to do that.
I,
I think
I
that's a good.
also
I think.
have I also put out something that may be of use to you. I put it out this week actually. It's called Page Power Suite, and it creates HTML pages. So there's a couple of ways of doing it. It'll ask you the type of page it is. You know how you said you haven't got sales pages for all of your books.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll ask you the type of book, ask you the type of product, or option 12 is detect the best fit for me, which is pretty
Right.
cool. And then it'll ask you a bunch of questions and it'll go and write it. But what I've been doing it for exactly this, and I was doing it yesterday because I want to tell my members about Hermes. I was telling them yesterday on yesterday's call. So I've just gone and wrote a very good um, intro to it. And so what I will do is I will take the intro Hermes report and I will just literally upload it to my so it started off as a GPT, but it's now a skill. So I can just literally send you the skill file. So I upload the PDF into that skill. So with skills, have you used skills in Claude? So you go into the settings, you go into skills, you upload a new skill, and it's there in its repository or whatever you call it. And then you go
Mm-hmm.
back to the chat and go // and then start typing whatever the skill name is, and it'll just pick it up. You click enter, and then you give it the instructions. So what I'm doing is, so I would upload the PDF of this new Hermes report that I've done, and I'd say, write me a sales page based on this entire PDF. So I'll give you an example of what I have used this for. I can send you that stores file over if you want. Could be useful.
No,
Don't
it's
know.
I may need it in the future, but it's not because what I do with my copy is it has to follow. There's no it doesn't create any design. It just has to follow the KDP guidelines, which is like there's like six tags they use. So you can
But
only use
you could edit.
H4. You can
You could
only
use that.
use
You could take the skill file and just say,
to make
"Here's the
landing
skill.
pages. Yeah.
Here's the skill. It needs to follow these strict guidelines." Edit the skill file to do that.
So you drag the skill file into the chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you weren't
Yeah.
just wanting to install the skill, so you could just literally say, "Here's a skill file. Edit the entire skill just to do this, 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 and this with this criteria," and it just can re-edit the skill file for you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so let me show you what I've done. These are a couple of examples that I've used for this this thing. I'll share these on the podcast. So I've done. This is one of them I did. So I literally just fed the PDF in of this thing. Obviously, I fed the images into it. Yeah, so I'd already created the
Yeah.
images before, fed it, and it's done this entire sales page for me within about 2 minutes.
Amazing. It did the
And
graphics too.
no, I did the graphics using GPT.
Okay.
So what all I did is I literally fed the PDF in, I numbered the graphics, so one to whatever, and I said, put the graphics in this order. And again, I could probably automate it better and edit it, but it's so easy to
Yeah.
do now. I know what I'm doing. So yeah, did that one, and then I did this, did one for my members. I did a quick report for my members showing them how to convert. I gave my members the skill to convert GPTs into skills. So again, did the graphics quickly in ChatGPT. You could do it in Gemini. Fed the report in, fed the images in, and said, make me a page. And it did that. Obviously, that's a relatively simple page, but yeah, it's pretty kick. I like the output of that. Now, for you, obviously, with what you're doing, it would need editing and changing. But again, literally, just take the skills file, tell it what you need, give it the strict criteria to use. I mean, literally,
Right.
upload the skill file to it. You don't even need to look at the context of the skill file and say, take this and get it to do just specifically this in this way. And it'll just do it within a minute or two. So I'll send you the
Yeah.
skill file over, and then if it's of any
Yeah.
use, you can at least you can have
Yeah.
a play with it. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I've
pretty
I've
kick
got to
ass.
learn how to use these. Like I don't, I know I'm kind of falling behind with this stuff, but I've also found um I haven't I haven't found the killer app for all this yet. Like doing this copy thing is a one-time thing, right? Once I do that, because all my new books,
Yeah,
I do the copy as I make them.
yeah, yeah.
But I do have a back catalog I got to fix. Um, but I want to find that like, you know, what is it? How does it become my team of junior comedy writers that bring me ideas every day that I can punch up and make funny? Where is how do we, what's that repeatable, killer app for me? And then I'm also looking at it like, okay, could I use it a few times and then get rid of it? Because I find like 99% of what I need I get from Gemini.
Hmm.
I have Perplexity, I have Claude, I have Grok, I have Gemini, I have, I think that's it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have Ideogram, I have all these things. I'm like, okay, Ideogram I keep no matter what because it's the best font generator I've ever had. So it's great at creating the book cover fonts that I want. And that alone makes it worth the monthly fee. Claude and Perplexity, kind of on the fence with. Perplexity's probably going to go because it's more expensive, and I'm not finding the use
Yeah,
case for it yet.
I haven't used Perplexity. My
Yeah.
staples are ChatGPT. Still, obviously, you don't use that. Still like the image generation. If you give it clear definitions, uh, works really well. Their new model, graphics model, is great. That calls for anything writing and this techie stuff. And again, I don't know anything compared to a lot of people. It's just
Right.
learning and grow for different purposes. Like any investigations that are a bit out there and you want some different opinion on, I'll use Grok. Now, what does that actually cost? ChatGPT, $20 a month plus a bit of API usage, or $20 a month plus some API usage. Like yesterday, I was generating this Hermes book and I ran out of session time. So I just put another, whatever it was, $10 in, and I've still got a load of credit, and I just got it done because you want to get it done.
Right.
And then Grok, well, so I pay whatever it is for the pro, I can't remember what they call it, but the same one you've got for X, which gives you Super Grok.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I've got,
that's a no-brainer. That's a
yeah, I got
no-brainer.
X Pro open on my uh, top monitor, which I've been used for years. I like the organization of it. So when you get that, plus you can use Super Grok, and that's pretty much AI wise. Yeah, I have API costs with business side of some stuff, but for me personally, that's what I got. So
Right.
it's so what's that? It's $80 a month in payments, plus occasionally I'll run out of session time on Claude. Um, and like that job I did last week, it cost $4.75, but I'd got all that work done in 25 minutes, and that's tangible stuff I can go and give to members and make more money with as well. So yeah, it's
Right.
it's it's kick ass. But I'll send you that skills file over, and again, that's all I'd do. I'd say, hey, check this out. I need it to do this and this, make it work, and then just test an output. Literally upload a PDF and see what comes out.
Yeah.
It's worth
Yeah.
trying.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's exciting times. But again, yeah, like you said, it's keeping up with it all. Every time I've got one of my spaces on my Mac that just has all of the desktop AIs open, and you know, pretty much every day something's updated, some other new features come out, and it's it's uh, it's a job in itself, just keeping up with what's going on. But again, you kind of default, like you with Gemini, you kind of default to what you're comfortable with using. And yeah, I'm going down the Hermes path because I actually caught myself thinking this morning. I mean, I think there's a way of plugging in your membership that you pay for into Hermes without using the API. I need to look into that more. But I caught myself thinking I could potentially be using this as the main thing, because obviously you can plug in any API model you want to it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I've got a list of, actually, I did an additional report in addition to this thing of 50 ways of using Hermes to actually either save you time, save you money, or make more. Some pretty interesting stuff that's come out with. Um, yeah, so, you know, it's welcome. And we're just at the beginning, and my knowledge is better than most, but
Yeah.
certainly nowhere near the top level users of some of these people that are doing this stuff to such a high level that it blows my mind.
I
Have
feel
you
like
ever?
I'd be solving bigger problems um if I had a better handle on what to do. Like I feel
Yeah,
like I feel like I
you smash this. Yeah, I think if you go into Claude, just ask it. The first thing I ever did when Claude Code and Code were launched is I went into Claude and I said, right, tell me, because it knows enough about me now. Because when I
right,
started using Claude properly, I got ChatGPT to export a .md file or whatever it was. I said, right, summarize everything about me, this business, this idea, this, and it generated me like half a dozen files, which I then went and put into Claude, and then I interrogated it to make sure
right.
it was on the same page. And then I said, right, tell me what Claude Cowork can do for me now, or what Claude, whatever it is. Tell me what these features can do for me, and it told me. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
idea
think
of
that's, having it tell you what it can do is definitely helpful. Like it makes a
specific
huge
to the
yeah,
user. That's the thing. Not
yeah.
just, oh, what can you do? It's like, right,
What can you
what's
do
going
for
on.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
what
me,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the key. But that's where that's how I was able to get Gemini to do so much for me yesterday was I said I want to improve, I came at it with a specific, here's the goal. I want to get more money per checkout. I want to follow, and I said I want to follow similar, path to Bath and Body Works in the way of how they price things. And then I kind of gave it a rough idea, and then it gave, dude, the mystery book idea was out of nothing. It was like, okay, create a product called mystery book, make it not visible, show me where that product is, and I'll put it in the system. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I would have never thought to do this, and it's just like, half price, but it only shows up once you put something in the cart, and it's like it's just like I fall for those kinds of incentives, and so it told me what to do, and then I'm like, okay, and then it's like it knows I use Shopify, so it's like, do you want me to give you the liquid code? I'm like, yes, let's do this.
Mm.
And and at first it said, here are the apps that you need from Shopify, and then it was like, or we could do it ourselves. I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it ourselves. So I like that process because if it gives you the idea and then it's like, okay, you gave me the idea, now let's figure out how to implement it. But like I have it speaking FileMaker code. I'm like, hey, I need a FileMaker script that does this, and it just writes the FileMaker script, and it's like, here's how to implement it. And so now I've taken the API middleman's out of like Make and IFTTT, all these companies that were doing the middleman stuff. I don't need them anymore. Now I figured out I can just do it all in house. So I'm slowly looking at, okay, could I do my Instagram uploads from FileMaker? Could I do my Facebook stories from File? Can I do everything? Probably.
Mm-hmm. Do
And so, but I'm gonna try. That's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna try and use Claude for that connector to put turn the PDFs into output. And when you did that big folder, did you start with one or two items and say, okay, let's see how let's,
Yeah, I
and then
just put I
and
put
then you
one
can
of
say,
each.
hey, I don't like this. Let's do it this
Yeah,
way. Try again, and then it does the folder again.
I didn't need to, because it did it
Okay,
exactly how it needed to be. But I just put one of each zip tile type in there, put it into the folder, set it
and
going,
then it
done.
just starts working. But if like
Starts working, and you
it's
can.
if it starts working and you're not happy, you just stop it and then say, hey, fix this,
Yeah,
start
yeah,
again.
yeah,
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 okay.
yeah. This is not right.
I've never
Tweak.
done that. I've literally
Yeah,
never done this. So this is my
yeah.
first time trying it.
But I didn't need to, because it
And how much do you pay
because
for you pay for the $200 subscription with Claude?
no 20.
20. Okay. But then the API calls are extra
Yeah. So I was
in
using the
co-work.
API. Yeah, I was using the API to do that. So I just have I don't know what it is, a $30 balance on there. And if it goes below $5, it auto tops up or whatever.
Okay, okay.
Um, so yeah, it was using the API to do that, but it cost $4.75 and took 25 minutes to do. And I was monitoring the API usage again, just the geek in me and the interest as first use of anything. And yeah, it was. So what I did is, yeah, I uploaded the first two files as an example.
Yeah.
Um, and then as an absolute test of the Python automation, I re-upload. So the first two files were the same files I put into the folder to test to make sure that they were the same as the one it did without using the Python automator, and they were. And then I just literally uploaded the other 58 in there and removed the other two, and off you go. And
Okay.
I was just monitoring in another screen. I was just monitoring the output folder, and it was spitting them out. It's yeah, exciting times, really. I mean, can you imagine if we had access to stuff like this 20 years ago? Jesus.
No, I can't. But see, that question is what I'm constantly struggling with. What would I have done then that I could still do now?
Mm.
What's the, there's always, that version of you had ideas, and some of those ideas are still valid and still work. And
Mm.
you're like, okay,
Mm.
what if a team of coders just came to me and said, we'll build whatever you want for free. We just want 10%. What would you do?
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's what I'm looking at now. So I'm whenever I start, so I've got to decide on this name for this pigeon racing uh, platform I want to make, the betting.
hmm
And so if I ever sent you my prompt wizard, so you can literally, it's a GPT, but I've turned it into a skill. So you can literally just say, fix my messy prompt. There's various options there, or create a prompt to do this, or create a prompt with this goal, whatever. And then normally I just type in 3 or 4 sentences, and it goes and makes a kick-ass prompt instruction. So I did that this morning with this gaming, not gaming, gambling brand expert thing I've created to do this process. And I've ran it through the 3 different AIs to compare. But then you doubt yourself a bit as to, well, could it be better? But me running it through this prompt wizard thing I can't get much better than that. So my point being was going on to say is I at some point want to at least start fielding out a few people I've got in mind. So what do I need? I need business plan, pitch deck, etc. But really, what I'd like to be able to do, and I've always liked to be able to do, the idea of doing is, albeit not fully working, at least giving an interactive demo site as to how this would look and operate and what it would actually look like. And I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do that myself now. I'm going to create the interactive. And there's no way I'd use AI to code the full system, because that's security and fucking all kinds of potential issues. But at least getting the demo site as to how this will look, I'm going to do myself at some point.
hmm.
And again, even a year ago, you'd have never thought you could do that. So
No.
you'd have been paying somebody, I'd have been paying somebody to do that.
Like, I'm looking at,
Yeah.
like, is there an iPhone app? Is there a game? Is there something I could be building that's like I've thought about, oh, could I do like a Becky game, as a for
Yeah.
instance, or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
along those lines.
Well, I mean, I based on our conversations last week, I'm still working on that an hour a day at the minute, because I said I'm not getting fully into it. But then I also decided, you know what? I'm not going down that side of investigations using my existing machine. I just don't trust some of the links I might click, and
Yeah,
paths or funnels or whatever. So I got
totally.
another Mac laptop here. My TV provider are great. They were offering a MacBook Air, with which is fine for what I need, for like £30 a month.
Right.
One of them. So but what I'm thinking there is with all this stuff we've been talking about, like I've got a bunch of bookmarks saved to go through, but some of the AI girlfriend experience stuff and all this stuff that's out there, mind blowing. And what's interesting, and even to the extent of I did, you know how on Facebook you can click interested in an ad or not interested?
Yeah.
Very rarely do I click interested, but I did start doing it. And holy shit, that unleashed a bunch of stuff at me. But I even thought that, you know what, I don't want to be using my main Facebook account for this. So I'm setting up I had a backup Facebook account when I got kicked out last time. I'm just going to, so yeah, I'm kind of separating it from investigation. But then when you come to what we've just been talking about, you know, opportunities are endless, you know,
Yeah.
really. So yeah, exciting stuff. But again, it's about keeping focus. It's a bit different with you in that you got your, you know, like, how can you enhance and grow what you've got, and what other parallel channels can you do? You know, you just said like, you know, Becky the game, and that's the kind of stuff that's ideal to be looking at.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to find those, like, those pieces where I'm like, okay, what could I be doing that's really cool, really fun,
mm,
really, stand out.
mm, mm. Yeah, it's like I thought about when I finally do launch this pool betting thing for the pigeon sport. You know, increasingly the big races that you would be getting engagement on, the period of time they happen are expanding. So like our season for big final races kind of starts end of August and goes all the way through now. Just there's a Spanish race in April, the final, you know. So it's
Yeah.
a decent period of time, but there's also that gap. And also, it's not the kind of thing where like you can go onto a horse betting platform and there's horse races around the world happening all the time. It's not that kind of thing. So I already have been thinking, what else could you offer within the platform? And then as long as it's provably fair and all of that stuff, you could start offering, you know, fantasy races or you know, virtual races and whatever based on statistics and stuff. So it's already got me thinking about that. It's like, well, how how realistic would that be to do stuff like that, you know? So
Right.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'll send you that skills thing. I just literally put it
Yeah.
out a couple of days ago. I'll send you that skills file over.
Okay. That'll be my
See if it's
first
an.
that'll be my first use of a skills file. So
Well, yeah, there you go. It's
I'll
all.
I'll test it out. I have no frame of reference, so I'll
Well,
test it out.
I shall give it to you using. I guess I'll give you the P Cloud link, which is still one of the my favorite things that you've told me about in the last few years. I use it
Yeah,
for
it's
everything
pretty
now.
sick.
Everything I use it for. It's kick ass. It really is. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love it.
I just like how easy it is. I like how easy it is to share stuff. So any of the stuff that yeah, pretty much I'm using it for everything now. So yeah, really good. Anyway, right. Yeah, so I'll get that up to you. I'll send that link over, and then let's see where we're at this time next week.
Sounds good.
Catch you later, mate.
All right. See ya.